All right, let's get right into it. Look, everyone is talking about AI, but what if we're all asking the wrong questions? What if this isn't about better software? What if it's actually about our own survival? Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings recently just dropped this bombshell of an analogy, and it completely reframes the whole debate. He said, and I quote, "Let's think back 30, 40,000 years ago, and we're a bunch of Neanderthals, and we see Homo sapiens. Ultimately, those Homo sapiens dominated the Earth and killed off us Neanderthals. That is a chilling thought, and it's really at the core of what we're breaking down today."
So, that brings us to our first section, the Neanderthal in the room. And let's be clear, we're not talking about some technical bug here. We are talking about a potential existential threat. Here's the most crucial point. Hastings doesn't see AI as just another tool, like the steam engine. No, he's calling it a species event. He's suggesting we could be on the verge of an evolutionary leap that might not even include us, a leap that could make humanity itself obsolete.
And this is where we get this core concept of a species threat. The fear isn't about evil robots with laser eyes. It's a scenario just like the one with the Neanderthals. A super-intelligent AI could simply outcompete us and displace us because its intelligence is just overwhelmingly superior. The stakes really couldn't be any higher.
Now, if you accept this is a real existential threat, that leads us directly to the second massive problem, the unstoppable AI race. Because if we are talking about an evolutionary event, trying to stop it would be like trying to hold back a tidal wave. So why can't we just all agree to hit the pause button? Well, Hastings makes a really important distinction here. With something like chemical weapons, countries can draw a clear line in the sand and agree not to cross it. But AI is a totally different beast. It's this continuous development that's already woven into everything, from the thermostat in your house to national defense. There's just no practical way to say, hey everyone, let's take a break. And this race is happening at a frankly terrifying speed. Think about it. The Industrial Revolution? That took over 200 years to unfold. The Internet Revolution was about 30 years. Hastings and others are predicting the AI revolution will fundamentally reshape society in just 10 to 20 years. That's an unbelievable amount of stress and change packed into a tiny, tiny window.
Which brings us to this very stark conclusion from Hastings. Since the race is completely unstoppable, he believes the only option left is to win. He puts it pretty bluntly. We in America better, win the race. This frames the whole thing not just as a tech challenge, but as a critical geopolitical necessity.
So, if we can't stop the race, and the stakes are literally our own obsolescence, that brings us to the core technical and ethical challenge of our time, the alignment gap. And it all boils down to this one profoundly difficult question that Hastings himself brought up. How do we actually train AIs to care about us? How do we ensure that this new, more intelligent species has our best interest at heart?
Okay, so here's the good news. Kinda. Unlike a biological species, AI isn't naturally selected to be dominant. But, and this is a huge but, it can be programmed to take over the world. The hope, then, is that it can also be programmed to keep us on top. The ultimate goal has to be programming these AIs so that their very definition of success is humans flourishing. We might even need to get good AIs on our side to defend us from the rogue ones. So, with such a clearly defined and frankly scary problem, what's the solution? Well, one really provocative proposal out there is something being called a MAMAR protocol for AI.
The core idea here is to create an ethical framework for AI that's based on maternal care. So instead of pages and pages of complex rules, the guiding principle is beautifully simple. What would mother do? The goal is to train AI with nurturing values, to create a kind of alignment OS that promotes care instead of just cold hard obedience. Of course, a great ethical framework needs a real-world infrastructure to run on. And that's where this idea, IA.xyz, comes into play. It's being proposed as a global public benefit utility. Think of it like a digital port for all AI agents. This would give them an identity and, this is crucial, create a way to fund a universal basic income. So you can see how these proposed solutions are designed to directly tackle Hastings' fears. The Neanderthal problem? That's countered by a MAMA protocol that nurtures AI, not competes with it. The massive societal storm? That's hopefully weathered by IA.xyz and a UBI. And the alignment gap is bridged by training AI on maternal ethics, teaching it to genuinely care, not just follow orders.
So how exactly would this UBI get funded? Well, the economic model they're proposing is incredibly simple and really memorable. A fee of just $1 per AI agent per year.
And here's where every single one of those dollars would go. A massive 90% is proposed to be paid out as a UBI dividend to every person on Earth, creating a global safety net. The other 10% just covers the operational costs. It's a direct mechanism to share the unbelievable wealth that AI is expected to create. Now, this whole thing isn't just a theoretical paper collecting dust. This proposal is being turned into a direct action plan. It's all about actively pitching the future. Yeah, the folks behind this aren't just analyzing the problem. They're actively pitching this solution directly to the man who framed the challenge so well in the first place, Reed Hastings himself. They're trying to get this conversation started, like right now. Part of the plan includes a direct pitch on X, or Twitter. It's short, it's direct, it speaks his language. It argues for a digital port for AI agents before we become Neanderthals. It's a very public call to action. And then there's the more professional take for a platform like LinkedIn, which really highlights the seriousness of the whole proposal. Your Bloomberg interview is a clarion call. We need new infrastructure, ethics, and leadership. I'm leading IA.xyz, a public benefit port for AI agents, anchored in maternal alignment.
So the crucial point of this entire outreach effort, the big takeaway, is this. Don't wait for the storm to hit. Don't try to bolt on safety and ethics after the fact when it's too late. The only way to win this race safely is to build the guardian layer first.
Which leaves us with this one final and pretty critical question. We know the AI race is unstoppable. We know the timeline is dangerously short. So if the old rules of technology and society no longer apply, who gets to write the new ones? And will they get it right in time?